Shalom. Welcome again to the Voice of N.O.Y. I'm your host, Morey Natan Ben Yisrael. Tonight, I would like to talk to you on a topic, Return to Yahweh, Part 1. It's a pretty broad topic, but we're going to try to narrow it down and bring out the main points so that you can understand why it's important for you to return to your King and your Savior, the Creator of all of heaven and earth and all things that is contained within them. So in today's world, as we look around, we see a lot of things going on. We see a lot of violence rising up in the earth. We see, on the news, we see rioting in different places in different states. We see people trying to protest and have peaceful protests, but we can see that that's not going to happen. These things are not going to be peaceful. We see a lot of things going on the globe itself, a lot of things going on in different countries, violence and protesting and even war cries. And we can hear these things and we would have to ask ourselves, what do these things mean to us? Everything that we see on the news, everything we see on the world news, local news, what are these things? What is all this telling us? We look in the book of Yoel, chapter 3, verse 9 through 17. This is a message that the Creator is sending to the Gentile. It said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And so this is what He wants us to know, want them to know, and all of us basically to know. And He says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And so He's saying here in this verse that it's time for people of these nations to prepare the mighty men, those nations that have all these nuclear bombs and they have all this technology and things that they have and have invested into machinery and all this technology and just trying to be the better man. I'm going to make a bigger bomb, I'm going to make a better missile. All these things that man have created, there was a purpose behind it, and this is the purpose. The Creator said that you're going to go to war. You're going to take these things and you're going to destroy yourself. And here He says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Now we know plowshares and pruning hooks. Well, these are things that you use for farming and fishing and things of that nature. But now He's saying that you're not going to use these instruments for, you understand, basic life, the fundamentals of life anymore, like planting, farming, and fishing, and so on. That now you're gonna convert these instruments, this plowshare and these pruning hooks, into swords and spears. It means you're gonna prepare weapons for war. So He says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. When we think about the valley of Jehoshaphat, then that was a time when the Creator told Israel to come out and to watch the battle, not to engage in it, but to observe it. And that the battle was His, that He was going to fight this battle. All we had to do was come out and observe. And when our people came out to observe in this battle, the Creator turned all of the adversaries against themselves. They came out to war against us. but they ended up killing each other. Look at what you see in the world today going on. People are preparing, they're buying up all this ammunition, thinking there's going to be a race war. They're buying up all of the, military equipment. The minds are more militant now. They're doing a lot of target practicing. All this, they're preparing themselves for war. But who are they going to be fighting? That's the question. And all you have to do is go to the book of Jehoshaphat, to the book of Kings, and read the war that Jehoshaphat went out to observe in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and you will get an idea and understanding what I'm talking about. When you look here, it said, "Put ye the sickle, put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great." When we look back at Genesis, this is what was one of the characterizations of mankind at that time, that the earth was full of wickedness. The earth was consumed by wickedness. In fact, Yahweh only found one man that was living right, and that man was Noah. When he went to Sodom and Gomorrah was fat. It was plump in wickedness, And so this is the thing that the Creator is saying, that everything is ready, is well prepared, you see. And this is what we have to look at. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So now here he's telling you multitude, that means that it's going to be many, hundreds of thousands, millions, because the Creator proclaimed, and he made it known in the book of Jeremiah 25, that he was going to send his sword throughout the land and kill all of the wicked, and that it was going to be death from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. We can expect that, because his word is always fulfilling itself. And we look around today and we want to ignore these facts, but you're not going to change the fact that it's going to happen. What you need to be doing is preparing yourself. And that's what this is about, returning to Yahweh, And so when we get finished with this lesson, you're going to look at your only way out is through the Most High. I hope that you will come to that conclusion, but maybe you will, maybe you won't, because, as we talked about in the other show, when you hear the voice of Yahweh, that the Creator is in none of his thoughts. And so maybe some of us will never come to that conclusion, that we need to turn to the Creator and give up this debauchery lifestyle, you understand, that we're living, this immoral lifestyle that we're living. Now here he says, "The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people." You see, Yahweh will be the hope of his people, not mankind and his armies and his machinery, his arsenals, understand? Not mankind, but the Most High. This is our only protection against the coming events upon this earth. We think that somehow things are going to transform. We're going to go back to getting along. We never have got along in America, and that's just the way it is. Because the Creator said your enemy hates you with a perpetual hatred. We don't want to accept that. But here we are in 2020 dealing with the same things we were dealing with basically in the 1600s. And so when we look at this, it says that, "And the strength of the children of Israel, so shall ye know that I am Yahweh your ruler, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through her anymore." Now we know that strangers are passing through Jerusalem right now today. So this is a future prophecy. This is something that is yet to come, And so we need to, as a people, we need to really, we need to meditate on these things. We need to think about these things. We need to discuss these things with our loved ones, with our spouse, with our friends. You know, we need to really consider this. You know, not take this lightly, because you don't wake up one day just like people woke up one day and it was raining, and you know, they might have shirked it off a little bit. Well, you know, it's raining. But then when it continued to rain, non-stop rain, then the reality of what Noah had been telling them became clear, transparent to them. They knew then that the Creator was real. And they knew then that He had passed judgment upon them, and that judgment was unto death. When we look here, Yahweh is making known His intention for mankind's future. We look at Zephaniah chapter 3. Here in Zephaniah chapter 3, the Creator tells us, "Therefore wait ye upon me, said Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination." And so that word right there, meaning that He's put forth every effort. He's putting all of His energy into this particular event. For my determination is to gather the nations, what we just read in the book of Joel, is to gather the nation. And that's plural. That's why He said multitude upon multitude in the valley of decision. Then He says, to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. Not His love, not His mercy, not His kindness, but His wrath, His indignation. But the picture that has been painted of the Creator is far different than what we see now. We see a wrathful Creator, one that is vengeful, one that is of war, one that is very, very destructive to all of those that continue to oppose Him. You have to ask yourself, brother or sister, is this what you want to do with your life? Do you want to continue on in a life that is opposing the Creator? To be an adversary against a divine power? Now, we all have experienced at some point in our life, maybe, when we have done somebody wrong and then they did something in retaliation to that, and we know how that felt. We know that this is a part of a human nature. Sometimes we hurt and we get angry, and then we want to lash out. We want to get, we get vindictive and all of these things. And some have even killed behind the Spirit. They have destroyed marriages. Some people have destroyed other people's marriages. They destroy relationship between people, between parents and children. So we see that this spirit can be very, very destructive. And this is what the Creator, He's not gathered them. You understand? When He say that to pour upon them mine indignation, He goes on to clarify it. He says, even all my fierce anger. That's clear. That's cut and dry. Even my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured. All the earth. See, that's global. He's not going to name China. He's not going to name Japan. He's not going to name Australia. He's not going to name, you understand, all of these different countries. He just summed it up with one statement. For all the earth. That's global. South Pole to the North Pole, from east to west, it covers all the earth. All land masses. And so wherever life is. This is what he's telling you. Doesn't make a difference. You can't escape it. Look how this pandemic have crossed the Atlantic Ocean. 6,000 miles from the coast of Africa. Thousands, I don't know how many thousands of miles from China's coast. But look where it's reside. Not only in America, but all over Europe. All over Africa. Japan. Everybody's affected by it. And we're not talking about something that happened over a stretch of years, but months. And still consuming right now as we speak. See, something is supernatural about these things that's happening. Man can't explain it. And so we need to look at these things and consider our lives. Do we want to continue on the way that we are living? To continue in rebellion? Look what he said now. Now the end is portrayed or characterized as a time of great increase of knowledge and an increase of travel upon the earth as never been seen before in the history of man. So now when we look at the end time, because that's the thing that we need to look at concerning this. We look at the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4 through 7. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." See, this is important for us to know right here. It says, even to the time of the end. The end means final. Seal up the book, even until the time of the end. Then he says, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Technology. Look at us. Look at me. I'm sitting here filming. And this knowledge broadcast will go out throughout the whole earth. Global. Via satellite, internet, all these things. Man is traveling day and night, day and night, day and night, back and forth, back and forth. And knowledge has greatly increased. Can you imagine Abraham or Moses coming in this world today? Man, they would freak out. They'd be terrified. It's kind of like when I was watching this movie, Shaka Zulu. And the British had this cannon, and they shot the cannon, boom. And when the cannonball came out, and when it landed and hit within the other army, they thought it was magic. How could this thing project, and do that? And so they thought it was magic. And they wanted the man to fight the whole war by himself with the cannon. And so I can imagine how Abraham and David and different ones, if they came into our world today and saw technology, man, they would be awed. So knowledge has greatly increased. And so these are the prophecies of the Creator. These things were spoken thousands of years ago, but they're accurate in our lives today. We're witnessing what was said then, we're witnessing it now. Then he said, then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? So all of these wonders mean things that, is perplexing. How long shall it be? Then he said, and I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half. And when he shall have, see, this is the key right here. When he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. It's done. We are the holy people. We are the holy people. This African American, this Negro, all these proverbs and bywords that they call us. We are the holy people. And he said that when he shall have accomplished, see that word accomplish, see, mean it's done. To scatter the power of the holy people. We have been dispersed throughout this whole earth. And we're not able to function because we are dismembered as a people. Therefore, we have no power. You take a gun and you lay it to your left, you know, you break it down, you take if it's a revolver, you take the chamber and all this, you break it down, you take the pin out of it, you break it down. And you set it in different places. You take the bullets and you set them to your right. You understand? You take the lead out. You take the gunpowder out. You know, you break it down. You take the shell. You lay it over here. The gun is powerful. But because it's dismembered and scattered abroad, it has no power. Simply meaning when I break them down into fringes, break them up to where they're not unified, and they'll be powerless. And so that's what he did. He broke us down and scattered us abroad and made us powerless in all the places that we reside in today. Now, the Euro-Gentile people brought to us Israelites the final part of this curse. When we look at Deuteronomy, the final part of this curse is dealing with what we just read. When we look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64 through 68, and Yahweh shall scatter. See, same word, scatter. Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods. See, here we was introduced to Jesus. We was introduced to Allah. We was introduced to, many different gods. Buddha, Krishna. So, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So history tell you, we didn't know Jesus when we came to these shores. It was introduced to us. Allah was introduced to us during that time of captivity, when we was in captivity, you understand, up under the Arabs, Islam, black slaves. Need to read that. Look what it says now. And among these nations, see, among these nations, plural, shalt thou find no ease. See, it's not going to be a comforting experience. It's not going to be an easy experience. In fact, among these nations, you're going to be afflicted. You're going to have a horrible experience. See, it says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. I mean, your whole experience. Failing of eyes mean things not going your way. Every time you think that you done achieved something, accomplished something, like we done marched on Selma, we can't omit Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois and all these men and women, Harriet Tubman, all these men and women, Fannie Mae Hammond, Fannie, I forgot her name, but anyway, We can't omit these people from our struggle. But did they prevail? Then we fast forward to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and you know, Stokely Carmichael and many others. Did they prevail? No, they didn't. Because here we are right now dealing with racism. Martin Luther King is gone. Medgar Evers is gone. All these great giants, heroes, warriors, they're gone off the scene now. And we yet dealing with the same struggles. Because Yahweh's word is true. He said you're going to have failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And thy light shall hang in doubt before thee. See that? No certainty. We still dealing with that. From the Klan in the 1800s. The White Citizens Council. The patrollers during the time of chattel slavery. Every movement, you was in fear that your life could be taken at any moment. 20, you dealing with the same frame of mind. Nothing has changed except the date. You still experiencing it from the same people. And so he says, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would to Yahweh, it were evening. See, you want to rush the day by. You just want to make it through. And I'll be glad when this day over. Then it says, and at the evening, night, thou shalt say, would to God, it were morning. Now you know, you can't lay down in peace. Every little thing creeping around you, you worry, you paranoid. So you rushing your whole life by. You rushing the night by. You rushing the morning by. You rushing your days by. You just want to hurry up and just get to the end. Look what he say now. And this would be the reason. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear. And for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And so the things that you're hearing and the things that you're witnessing, observing, it's placed fear in your heart. Then, and Yah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now you know we didn't leave out of Egypt with ships. You can walk into Egypt from Israel, except for they built that canal. But we came to America and South America and all of the islands in the belly of a ship. And these places, when you study them, they're set up according to or after the characterization of Egypt itself. And so that's symbolics. And so he says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, not your friends. We were sold on auction blocks. All you have to do is travel this country. They have these historic monuments, auction blocks, and different things on display that you can go and see. They still have the shackles and different things we came over here in that you can go and see. And so he says, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you should be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And so that means no one is going to get you out of your predicament. No one is going to save you. And so who did this? When they used to stamp on your back race, RACE, Royal African Companies of England. We want to act like America was the only one involved in the slave trade. No, the Israeli was deeply involved in the slave trade. You understand? England was deeply involved in the slave trade. Nothing was done without England sanctioning it. All of the Europeans was involved in the slave trade. and they disperse you throughout the whole earth. And now it's done. You scattered and you're in a powerless position. Just like he said. You scattered throughout the whole earth. And you're powerless at this time, at this moment. And so we would be scattered and also blinded by their religion and systems of government. We look at Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9 through 14. It says, "Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink." We have an intoxicating experience as a man that is filled full of intoxicants. You understand? That is filled full of alcohol. You understand? But we're not literally filled with alcohol. See, he's saying they're drunken, but not with wine. So what's causing us to be in this type of mindset? What's causing us to have this kind of experience? It says, "For Yahweh had poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep and unconsciousness." And unconsciousness. So, and had closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, had he covered. And now you cannot see. See, these type of men, these prophets and seers, these was the one that came to you and they could predict the future. They could give you insight. But in chattel slavery, we didn't see a future. Our eyes was closed to that. Our greatest desire for a future was death. Death was better than what we was experiencing here when we first came here. And so he says, "And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed." When we came here, Yahweh's word came with us. The King James Bible had Yahweh's word, knowledge of us and Yahweh in it, called the Old Testament. But because it was written in a tongue or a language we could not speak, the book was sealed to us. It was sealed to us. Even Christianity, we didn't know nothing about that either. If you look at the birth of a nation, notice they had to teach Nat Turner. He didn't know nothing about Christianity. They had to teach him and prepare him. Now look what happened. It said, "And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee." And he said, "I'm not learned." Because we could not speak these people's language, and they would kill us if they found us making the character of their letters, trying to learn how to read and write. And then when we came on into the 1800s, when we started opening up schools and different things, we were reading little bitty kindergarten books. See Jane run, see Dick play. This is how we had to educate ourselves. So we still did not understand the Holy Scriptures for ourselves. And therefore our identity, we were still unconscious to who we were. And our identity was yet hidden in the very book that we were trying to read out of and teach out of. And all we were doing was mimicking what the slave master taught us about Jesus. Because a lot of us couldn't read those words. It was just replay. That's all it was. And look what he say now. "Wherefore Yahweh said, For as much as this people draw near with me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men's." Not by the Creator's precepts, but by the precepts of men's. because they changed the laws. They changed things. That's what the New Testament is. It's a change. Those are not Yahweh's words. Those are not, that is not the creator laws. And not only did we learn that, we had to take on Christian names. The Indians had to take on Christian names. We had to begin to practice the Christian lifestyle. And not only that, we had to also succumb to the life of the government when we was emancipated. We had to conform to their precept, to their laws, statutes, and judgments. It's a lot. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. So now you had men like Frederick Douglass, you had men like Nat Turner, you had men like Denmark Vesey and Gabrielle, and you had men like Booker T. Washington, so forth and so on. But they could not prevail. They couldn't help us. In fact, what did they do? Now, Nat Turner, Gabrielle, and Denmark Vesey, they tried to liberate us, but they couldn't. But then when you look at Booker T. Washington, he figured we could work our way out of our predicament. W. Boss figured we could educate our way out of our predicament. Frederick Douglass pursued the government, figured that we could rise out of our predicament through the Constitution. We even had abolitionists that helped our people to go back to Liberia, but we were so deeply entrenched in the knowledge of these people. What did we take with us? We took all this stuff back with us, and we began to do the same thing to those people in Liberia that had been done to us in America. And today in 2020, Liberia is destroyed up under the spirit of Christianity and democracy. We took it with us. Now, when we look at these things, when we look at Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 through 13, it says, also I heard the voice of Yahweh saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. So Yahweh said, you know, I need to talk to you. Any king with sense would send a delegation, you know, an ambassador, someone to speak on his behalf, to try to reason with the people. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see you indeed, but perceive not. So now he said, you listening? Are you hearing what is being said? And you may see, you may think that you have understood, but you haven't. It has not been conceived in your heart. He says here, make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy. See, our ears is full of the knowledge of our oppressor. Our eyes is full of the knowledge of our oppressor. The Creator purposely allowed these things to happen to us then and now. He had a reason. He said, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. So you see, there was a time when the Creator didn't want us to heal, didn't want us to change. Because repentance and all these things was over. He got tired of us, you know, lying to him, undermining him, you know, betraying him. Every time he would get us out of trouble, we right back in trouble. As soon as we get in trouble, come save me. He got tired of that. He said, okay, you know what? I'm going to let you find out the hard way. And so when you know, today most young people think they know everything. Their heart is fat. It's full of foolishness. You can't tell them nothing. It's too full. Can't get nothing in. And this is what the Creator's saying. And then what will be the purpose of this? He going back to a time. Then said I, Yahweh, how long? See? Same thing the angel answered in the book of Daniel. How long? And so he says, and he answered, until the cities be waste without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. And Yahweh have removed men far away. See? Dismemberment. Same thing, Daniel. Until he have scattered us all over the earth. Till Yahweh have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. A great forsaking. Nobody over there serve Yah. Even the brothers over there that's still talking about the HaMashiach and all these things. Yah did not give us that. He said that he is the Savior. He don't know no other Savior. And so we have to be careful in our application of this knowledge of the Most High. We have to know how to divide, you understand, to filter out the lies so that we can purge and be purified. We can't take all this knowledge that we learned in Babylon back with us. Look what he say now, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return. See, and that's the thing that we must understand. He said that also earlier, you understand, that there was going to be some that's going to return to him. We read that in the book of I believe, Zephaniah and Joel. And so we need to understand that there are some of us who is going to turn back to our Father. And that's what he's saying here. But yet in it shall be a tent, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a teil tree, and as an oak, whose substance is in them, when they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. So, brothers and sisters, this would be the disposition of our captors. We can never expect for them to change. Look what it says in the book of Psalms 83. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. So they have been advised what to do to prevail against us, taking crafty counsel against us. And it said hidden ones, because we are hidden in the vast knowledge of the world. We are wiped out of the history of the world. Look at us now, how we have to dig and search and probe, trying to find knowledge of ourselves. It's a reason we have to do that. It's out there, but this knowledge has been tucked away because the world did not want you to know who you are, how to get back up on your feet. The world, they reading the same Bible you read, so they know who you are, and they know what's in your future. They know these things. And so when we look at this, and it says, and they say, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, it didn't say stop them from existing to make us extinct, but to make us extinct as a nation. Not a human being, not a person, but as a nation. And there was a purpose behind all that. It was a reason, you understand. This has been a part of our punishment, to be dead to ourselves. We look at Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 18 through 20. It says, of the rock that begat thee, thou art mindful, and hast forgotten Yahweh that formed thee. And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. So you see, that's the first thing. The Creator will hide himself from you. See, take you out of his mind. You will lose the consciousness of who the true Creator was or is. Then he says, I will hide my face from them. I will see what they're in. See, just what I said earlier. He's going to let you. He's going to stop involving himself and supporting you and helping you out of your trouble. He's going to let you do it on your own now. He said, I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. Just like a lot of hard-headed children don't want to believe what somebody is telling them. And so that's the first thing. Not only did he hide his face, but then knowledge of self. Deuteronomy 32:26 says, I said, I will scatter them into corners. See, scatter us. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Not, see, he didn't say he was going to make you extinct. But exactly what your adversary is doing, he's a part of the Creator's plan. And that was to take knowledge of self from you. That's why he beat you. That's why he mutilated you and did all these things. If he caught you practicing any kind of African culture or speaking your language, he was doing the will of the Creator. But this wasn't, and this is not forever. So if you have paid attention to what is being said, you might have noticed that he said he would hide his face from us. And so how did he do this? How did he hide his face? When we look at Amos chapter 8, verse number 11 through 14, it said, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. See? A famine. Not of water or food, but of hearing. That means you don't not hear the words. See, that means it's going to diminish and go away. Look what he says. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro, just what Daniel was saying, to seek the word of Yahweh, and should not find it. Why? He told Daniel, it's sealed up. Nobody going to be able to recognize and understand the truth. And so everybody been wandering around this earth looking for the ark. Everybody running around the world trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to be pundits on the subject of the scriptures and this and that. Looking for the words of the Most High. But he says in that day, he said they should wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They should run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and should not find it. In that day shall the fair virgin and young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth, and the banner of Beersheba liveth. Even they shall fall and never rise up again. So all of us that are involved in pagan worship, worshiping a man on a cross or a cobblestone, or all these things that we're involved in, It's only leading us to our destruction. And we need to understand that from the things that we read, that's dealing with set times. That's prophecy. You know. And so now he told Daniel this would happen until the time of our resurrection. We look at Hosea chapter 5. It says, "Hear ye this, O priests, and hearken ye house of Israel, and give ye ear, O house of Israel, the king of the king. For judgment is toward you, because ye have been a snare in Mizpah, and a net spread upon Tabor." So you've been a trouble to these places, and the revolters are profound to make slaughter. Though I have been a rebuker of them all, and so I've not been against you, and been trying to correct you. But then what he says, "I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled." So the Creator was watching everything that we were doing. Just like today, He know all our secret sins. He know things about us that other people don't know, that we keep hidden from them. But the Creator know these things. They would not frame their doings to turn unto their Creator. See, what he's saying is you will not change. You will not reconstruct your life. See? But you continue to build upon wicked principles, wicked doctrines. And so, what happens when you won't turn and be, you understand, rebuilt? For Yahweh, for the spirit of whoredom is in the midst of them, and they have not known Yahweh. So that's the reason Yah say you're an infidel, and you have not known Him. You're unfaithful, and you never will be faithful. Look what he said. "And the pride of Israel doeth testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. They shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek Yahweh, but they shall not find him. He had withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against Yahweh, for they have begotten strange children. Now shall a month devour them with their portions. Blow ye the cornet in Gibeah, and the trumpet in Ramah. Cry aloud at Bethaven. After thee, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall surely be. The princes of Judah were like them that removed the bound. Therefore I will pour out my wrath upon them like water." So we all got in trouble. Benjamin, Judah, the 12 tribes. Israel, Ephraim, the 12 tribes. We all rebelled as a people. "And therefore will I be unto Ephraim as a moth, and to the house of Judah as rottenness." So you see, He's going to be something that's going to be destructive, you understand, to you. Destroy your health, destroy your life, break your life down, make you weak and feeble in this world. And that's what we are, weak and feeble in this world. That's why we out there marching and crying, talking about Black Lives Matter. Look what he say. "When Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian and sent to King Yareb. Yet could he not heal you, nor cure you of your wounds." So nobody can help you, understand, to reconstruct your life and to make you strong and healthy and vibrant. No nation out there want to help us today. We think that these white folks out there marching with us, that they're really on our side, but they undermining you. And you're going to find out in the end, they instigating something, and you too stupid to realize it. Look what he say. "For I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, and as a young lion to the house of Judah." So the Creator would be, a lion. That's destructive. He'll be destructive to you and go away. So you see, Yah gonna dismember you, and He said He gonna go away. So we ain't been crying to God 400 years. We've been crying to Jesus a slave ship. We've been crying to Allah a copperstone. Because he said, I'm going to go away. And then what did he say then? And I will take away and none shall rescue him. That's why we're still in America. That's why when we did learn about Jesus through Nat Turner and all the rest of them, we continue to reside amongst our enemies, a powerless people. Look what he say. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense, until you repent and confess that you've been wrong. Not the European, not your adversary, but you brought this on yourself. And we're going to pick this back up now in our next part. And then it says, and seek my face. So you got to look for him. And the only way you can seek someone's face is through their words. You got to look to their mouth. See, we got to put this New Testament and all this Quran and all this other stuff, the Sanskrit, all this. We got to put all this stuff aside. That's not Yahweh's words. They didn't come from his mouth. You seeking the face of a cobblestone. You seeking the face, you understand, of a picture that hangs on a wall. But we talking about seeking the face of the true and living Creator. This is how we must seek him, through his word, through his law, statutes, and judgment, through holiness. And now he know you're going to seek him again, because he said, in their affliction, they will seek me early. So y'all know that there's a time when we're going to turn back to him. We're going to begin to seek his face. We're going to begin to put down this religion and the government and everything else we done learned here. This culture, everything we done learned here. And we're going to pursue him through his law, statutes, and judgment. We're going to be reconstructed, reformed. And so we come back in part 2. We're going to look at some things concerning that. Our resurrection, you understand, our mindset, the new mindset that we would develop in the process of time, you understand, and that mind, that new mind, would turn back to the Creator. And we're going to seek him, just like it said in a few of the scriptures earlier, that we will return back to the Most High. Once again, I'm your host, Ben Natan Yisrael. I thank you for your time. I pray that everything that has been said will somehow be beneficial to you and to your loved ones. Until next time, shalom.